name is Teri McCall, and I attend Mountain View United Methodist Church in Chilhowie, Virginia. The mission field has changed in a way that we weren't prepared for, especially at Mountain View. It's no longer person to person. It's no longer who's sitting in the pew. It's for us, we went to Zoom sermons and Zoom worship, and it was great, and it was really nice because it kept us connected, and we could see each other on the Zoom screen. And there's a gentleman in our church who's older, and he doesn't have any clue how to get online and do Zoom, so he would come over to our house on Sundays, and we would watch together and go to church together. And that just created a real bond between my husband, myself, and Dave. And but then when we got to go back to church and we got to be in person, we still kept our Zoom congregation. And I think, I really feel strongly that now each church needs to realize that we're not going back to where we were pre-pandemic. We're going forward. We took a hard turn, and we didn't take just one hard turn. We took many. I mean, if you are familiar with this area at all, think about the back of the Dragon, the road from Marion over the mountain to Tazewell, I believe it is. And that is a switchback, up, down. I mean, and that's what the pandemic has been like for churches. And we have to realize now that, and we have to accept that our congregation, part of our congregation is now virtual. And that's not going away. That's not going to change. And we have to include them. We have to make that congregation feel like they're a part of the church. Whatever reason they're not in the pew, they are online. They are watching. They are worshiping. And that's why we get together on Sunday. That's our main goal, is to worship God when we get together on Sunday. And if we worship God, then we get stronger as a family of God. The mission field has opened up, especially at Mountain View, because my pastor, John Graham, he will post his sermons on Facebook. And he doesn't post a recording of what he did on Sunday. He makes a different, shorter version video, and he goes different places to video it. And we have had many people come visit our church because of his posts and his messages. We've had folks get married at our church. So people feel like they're a part of our church from watching John on Facebook. And that counts. That's our congregation. That's our mission field. We now have an opportunity to reach out to people. I mean, at Mountain View, we have 30, 40, maybe 50 on a Sunday. We can hardly get internet out there. We're out in the country. It's beautiful. But we never would have thought of doing anything virtual prior to the pandemic. I mean, who would want to watch anything from a little church out in the country? But now we have a following. People who know who we are, know our congregation, know our pastor. And we are building on that. And that is opening up the mission field and opening up a way for us to get the word of God and the love of Jesus out to people that may never have even walked in our front door. Pray about it. There is a lot that can be done if they would just reach out to some staff, reach out to people who are involved in the church. They will get answers. And you know, right now is a time when churches need people to come along with us as far as those of us that are there. You know, if they are not attending and they still want to do something, they want to be a part of the congregation, then they have to reach out to the congregation and the staff that's at the church. And if they aren't finding their answers by watching online, then they have to reach out. Prior to the pandemic, you could come to church, you could get your bulletin, you could see everything on your bulletin, and you could talk about it. with people in the church. But now when so many people are not actually attending, they've got to make the effort. And then they've got to pray about it. Where does God want them to make their effort? And so you have to make the effort. If I could just get that across to people, is it's easy to sit at home and say, I don't know what to do. But did Jesus ever do anything easy? So we have to be responsible as followers of Christ to find out where we're needed and to let God lead us by prayer to where we're needed.